If you've consumed fighting game content for any period of time, you'll inevitably run across fight sticks. This is a type of controller designed at mimicking the arcade experience. For some, this type of controller will come naturally and be far more comfortable than a standard controller, otherwise known as a pad. Even though I recently picked up Stick, I can tell I like Stick better, it just works for me. However, there's recently been a revolution in fighting games, in no small part thanks to Daigo Umehara of Moment 37 fame. That happened at EVO. Easily one of the most famous moments in fighting game history, and potentially esports as well. So what is this revolution we're talking about? Well, if you saw the title or the thumbnail, you'll know we're discussing 5 reasons the hitbox is a gimmick. Clickbaiting aside, I'll admit that hitboxes have their place, and they are a revolutionary gaming peripheral, as they improve the accessibility of fighting games for the masses, and that's a good thing. In fact, the hitbox controller is great for aging gamers who either have arthritis or carpal tunnel syndrome, as they really take the stress off the wrists. However, we're going to cover why they aren't the end-all be-all of fighting game controllers, as a lot of people are claiming. Let's face it, whenever you run across a celebrity endorsement that grabs your attention almost instantly and makes you want to try the product out, Daigo has made the full shift to the hitbox at top-tier competitions like EVO. In EVO 2022, he managed to reach 5th place. Other top-tier fighters are also using the hitbox. Obviously, these controllers are working for some of the top-tier competitors, however, if you look at these players, they're at the top of the ladder. They're the best players in the world, and they have the core fundamentals down for fighting games, and are able to rely on their fundamentals. The hitbox controllers are just what helps them right now. Just because a top-tier player is seeing success with these controllers doesn't mean you will. They just might not suit you. You might have heard hitbox referred to as cheat boxes by a lot of the FGC content creators. This is because they help make certain inputs, especially the inputs of charge-based characters like Guile from Street Fighter, Mei from Guilty Gear, and Leona from the King of Fighters easier to play. While that is true, and certain jumping motions are easier on hitboxes, the same could be said for all types of controllers. If you're a player who relies heavily on macros, then you're more than likely going to prefer pad. If you rely on circular motions, then a circular gate on an arcade stick is going to make your life a lot easier. Again, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. Hitboxes will just make certain inputs easier, and you may or may not benefit from this depending on the game you play, along with your character selection. If you look at fighting games in general, they have some of the steepest learning curves in all of gaming. I'm admittedly a slow learner, and it took me almost 8 months just to come to grips with the fundamentals for Dead or Alive 5. This was coming from someone playing on controller. When it comes to fighting games, your lowest barrier of entry is always going to be pad, because you'll have developed the needed connections and muscle memory to just pick up and play. After that, traditional fight sticks are likely the easiest if you have any experience playing games in an arcade setting. Hitboxes, and by extension all button layout controllers, are a rather new thing. So if you're brand new to fighting games, you'll already be facing a long learning curve. Doubly so if you're picking them up and choose to go with an all-button controller for the first time. That's not to say there aren't benefits to learning an all-button controller layout. There definitely are some advantages to doing so, but if you aren't used to it, it'll take you a while to adjust, and for some, that learning curve might be a major turnoff. That's something you'll just have to consider given the price of the product. For the PlayStation 4 and PC version of the Hitbox, it's going to set you back $249 US plus shipping and taxes, which is a lot of money for a gaming peripheral. Unless you're 100% committed to learning the Hitbox, that's a ton of money to spend, especially when you consider the cost of a DualShock 4 or a DualSense controller. Keep in mind, modern fighting games are designed with pad players in mind. Also, at this point in time, there is no next generation version of the Hitbox. So if you want it for PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series consoles, you might be shit out of luck. Also, another consideration is a low-end fight stick like the Kanba drone only costs $79 American, so for that alone, the price might be a turnoff for a lot of potential players and buyers. The same could be said about just about any non-standardized controller. They suit a specific type of person. Arcade sticks and all button controllers suit a very specific kind of player, and if you're not one of them, then the product simply won't appeal to you. That's not a bad thing though. It's just something to keep in mind. If you want to try a hitbox or an all-button controller, more power to you. Just make sure you do the research into the product and make an informed decision along the way. It could just be a novelty for you in the long term. Do I have a thing against hitboxes? Nope, I don't. In fact, I wouldn't mind owning one eventually. I just think they're what's hot at the moment, and their popularity will diminish somewhat over time. Why do I think they'll fade in terms of popularity? It's down to the fact players are just going to eventually figure out what they like and what they don't like. Some are going to feel more comfortable on pad, some will feel more comfortable on a traditional stick, and some with the all-button layout controllers. Ultimately, play on what you find most comfortable. That's how you'll reach your potential in fighting games. Basically, just have fun, guys. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to check out my other content. A video should be popping up about now that YouTube thinks you'll like. And don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on hitboxes in general and the non-stick-based revolution. Also, check out my Twitch, www.twitch.tv/Leafer90. Socials will be popping up on screen now and will be in the description below.